guys are a pretty new band. If you just want to maybe tell us a little bit about Empyreon, how you guys got started, and a little bit a little bit about what you guys are all about.
How the band actually started was actually back in probably like 2006. Myself and Mike Kalalove, who is the main songwriter, and he also plays the keyboards, guitars, and stuff like that. We were both session musicians, kind of in the scene, just getting picked up to play and get paid to do it, whatever. And we were on the same job once, doing some cover songs for some school or something like that. And he kind of approached me and said, like, "Hey man, like, I'm kind of getting into heavier music, and I've been putting these songs together, and I was wondering if you like wanted to jam out on them." And so he wound up sending me 4 tracks, and within a week we booked some studio time out in Long Island in New York, and went down to the studio and recorded them. And within like a couple days, the entire thing was done. Like, we had it recorded, mixed, mastered, and packaged, and like maybe a week and a half. And it was kind of then like we just realized like how easy it was to work with each other. But it was really just like a project. It wasn't necessarily a real band or anything like that, because I had, my stuff going on, especially like Metal Injection at the time was like kind of picking up, and I was really heavily into that. And Mike actually went out on tour with the band Doff. So like between, his stuff and my stuff, we didn't really get to, fulfill like a real band's requirements or anything like that. And then fast forward to like 2009, we kind of revisited it and spoke about maybe like doing it as a real band kind of deal, and actually look for like other members and get it together or whatever. And it's pretty much how it happened.
So was Beyond Perception, was that just released by you guys?
Yep. We're not signed. But everything we do is pretty much like DIY, you know what I mean? We've had some like smaller labels come across and try to make some offers, but I don't really see a point in signing with like a really indie small label that can't really offer us anything more than I could already do myself,
So would you say this is working better for you then?
Well, for the time being, at least. We're certainly not against offers or anything like that. I think we're just really holding out for like a substantial label to make an offer or something like that, I just, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point in signing over your music and licensing and everything to a label that's not going to help you,
Could you tell us maybe a little bit about this album's lyrical themes?
Well, I'm a drummer. So, what I could tell you is the title track, Beyond Perception, is kind of goes along with this conversation that myself and the vocalist Aaron had many times, and we kind of just always sat around talking about like the end of the world, like the apocalypse and what it would look like, and we both kind of always agreed that when people, the apocalypse ever did happen, and when it does, like there's so many people who are just going to go around screaming and looting and calling their loved ones, and there's a whole range of emotions that comes along with something like that. Myself and Aaron always agreed that we'd be like two people who would just like kind of sit out on lawn chairs and watch the apocalypse happen, because it must be the most beautiful thing. I can't think of anything grander and more amazing to actually see in life than the end of it all,
And you guys actually made a video for that song, right?
We did, yep. David Brodsky, he's very awesome friend, and he did the video for us.
Could you maybe tell us a little bit, like what all went into that?
Well, it was more or less a performance video. We originally had some ideas for narrative, but it didn't really work out that way. Dave Brodsky has been a good friend of mine, and I've worked with him on plenty of shoots in the past. And, when it came down to us wanting to do a video, it was kind of a no-brainer who we wanted to work with. And he was, definitely stoked about working with us. And we did it in Trenton, New Jersey, in the middle of absolutely nowhere. and that was kind of weird because it was like a really, weird. You just going through town, riding through town, and then you see like boarded up houses everywhere, and like, one lonely kid playing CeeLo off the side of a wall somewhere. It's just like there's nobody around. It was so shady, But it was also the same building complex where I think Suffocation did their video, and maybe a couple others. I'm not really sure, but there was like an abandoned area, and it was very cold, very very cold, but and a long day. But I don't know. We had a lot of fun, and we're definitely excited to try and do it again.
If you do it again, will it be another song off this album, or would you wait for another one, or how do you think that would work?
I don't know, man. Because we're an unsigned band, and I'm trying to take everything DIY, at least for now. I guess because I'm doing it that way and having that approach, it's, like how a record label would have an album cycle where like everything you could ever imagine gets done in 3 months, from distribution through PR and, all the rest. It's taken me a lot longer to kind of get it out. That's why, like, even though the album came out, in October of 2009, it's still getting pushed right now because, like, it's taken me pretty much a year to finally get through, like, the album cycle, like, do all the PR work and everything else, So, with that said, I don't really know. I mean, we did have ideas to do another video, maybe for the track Let the End Begin, which is a personal favorite of all of us as well. But we're also thinking narrative type video, with actors and stuff, doing a performance video. And instead of like having an outside source, whatever, I'd probably wind up directing it myself.
All right, so you guys have a couple shows coming up. Do you, at this point, just try to get on to open up on like tours that are going on for this duration at least?
Well, I guess our new approach, we've done like a lot of shows in New York City in the area, and we just don't want to do any more smaller shows. It's like we've kind of put a lot into that already. We kind of ran out the gate, just like. As soon as we were ready to do shows, we started doing shows, and we did a lot of them to the point where we kind of oversaturated. And at this point, we're really more or less like looking to open up for, like passing tours and stuff like that. And it's gone pretty well. Like we've actually been getting some great show offers lately. We have shows coming up with God Forbid and Mutiny Within and The Agonist and Blackguard. And in a couple of days, we're actually playing with Heroes Destroyed on Relapse Records and Iron Thrones. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those guys, but they're pretty rad.
So where do you see, or where would you like to see Empyreon in another, like 5 years?
It's a good question, man. I don't. I mean, hopefully on tour, some European tours and stuff like that. I mean. Like I said, we're not against label offers or anything of that sort. Hopefully, we find a home for our music. That'd be pretty incredible, for us. And along with that, really just like a lot of touring we want to do, especially overseas. Like I can imagine, we get a lot of fan mail and stuff like that, and emails and whatnot from Greece and Finland and Sweden and stuff like that. And, I guess it's understandable with the nature of the music and all. So I guess we'd really love to go over there and see what that's like and what that does for us.
I just have one thing left for you, and that would be if you have anything to say to any of the Empyreon fans or fans of your other band or people who go to Metal Injection, if you have anything to say to them.
Thank you all. You all rule. And, I don't know. Keep in touch, really. Like we're very responsive, like with our fans, be it Metal Injection or the bands that I'm in. We love to hear from you guys. We're very approachable. So send us an email, hit us up in the street if you see us, and thanks for listening.